Imagine stepping into one of the city's most prestigious hotels, your heart brimming with excitement and anticipation. You've just built a billion-dollar empire from the ground up, battling against every obstacle thrown your way. You expect nothing less than the royal treatment. But then the unthinkable happens. You're turned away at the door, simply because of the color of your skin. This is exactly what happened to Vanessa Michaels. But instead of walking away defeated, feeling small and powerless, she did something no one saw coming. She returned to that very hotel, not as a guest but as its owner. But before we dive into this remarkable tale, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe. The day had started like any other. The sun cast its golden glow over the bustling streets of Baltimore as Vanessa Michaels stepped out of her sleek black sedan. In her mid-30s, dressed in a perfectly tailored navy blue suit that mirrored her sharp business acumen, she was the epitome of success. Vanessa wasn't just anyone. She had spent years building Michaels Holdings into a real estate empire that spanned across the country. Her success hadn't come easily, though. She'd faced challenges that most people could never imagine, pushing past every barrier and turning every setback into a stepping stone. That day was supposed to be a celebration. She had booked a week at the Avalon Hotel, one of the most exclusive hotels in the city. But as she approached the grand entrance, something felt off. A strange tension filled her chest. She glanced back at her assistant, Bethany, who was carrying their luggage and walking close behind. "You confirmed the reservation, right?" Vanessa asked, her voice calm, but edged with doubt. Bethany, who had worked with Vanessa for over a decade, gave her a reassuring smile. "Triple-checked. You're their VIP guest for the week. Everything's perfect." Vanessa smiled back, but the weight she'd carried all her life, the feeling of being seen not for her success, but for the color of her skin, was never far behind. She took a deep breath, determined not to let her past fears cloud this moment, and walked toward the hotel's imposing entrance. The lobby took her breath away. High ceilings, crystal chandeliers, luxury oozing from every corner. But as they approached the front desk, the air grew heavy. The receptionist, a young woman with a polished appearance, greeted them with a smile that seemed almost too perfect. "Good afternoon. How can I help you?" she asked. Bethany stepped forward, confident as ever. "We have a reservation under Vanessa Michaels." The receptionist's eyes flickered, just for a second, before she began typing away at her keyboard. The silence stretched for what felt like an eternity. Vanessa's stomach tightened. She'd been here before. Not in this exact scenario, but in countless others where she was treated as less than. A few moments later, the receptionist looked up, her smile faltering. "I'm sorry, but I'm not seeing a reservation under that name." Vanessa felt the sting in her chest, but she refused to show it. Bethany, ever the professional, pressed on. "We confirmed this reservation weeks ago. Could you check again?" The receptionist hesitated, clearly uncomfortable. She picked up the phone, spoke to someone, and within minutes, a man in a sharp gray suit appeared. "I'm Robert Stevens, the manager," he said, his tone polite but cold. "I understand there's an issue with your reservation." Vanessa locked eyes with him, already knowing where this was headed. "I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding," he continued, his voice dripping with insincerity. "Our suites are fully booked. Unfortunately, we won't be able to accommodate you today." Bethany looked as though she might explode. Her face flushed with anger, her fists clenched at her sides. But Vanessa, ever the composed one, placed a calming hand on her arm. She had learned to control her reactions over the years. She wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of a confrontation. "I see," Vanessa said, her voice steady. "Thank you for your time, Mr. Stevens." Without another word, she turned and walked out, her head held high. Bethany followed, her anger palpable. "Vanessa, this is insane. We should call the press. Get a lawyer involved. They can't treat you like this." Vanessa paused on the sidewalk, taking a slow, measured breath. "Bethany, I've been fighting this battle my whole life. This isn't the first time I've been shut out because of my skin color. And it probably won't be the last. But I won't fight them on their terms." Bethany's shoulders slumped, her anger giving way to confusion. "So what do we do now?" A small, determined smile curved Vanessa's lips. "We regroup. Find a new hotel for tonight. And then, I have other plans for the Avalon. Later that evening, from the comfort of a different hotel, Vanessa sat at her laptop, her mind racing with possibilities. She wasn't the type to back down. Obstacles? She turned them into opportunities. And this wasn't going to slide. The Avalon would see her again. But this time, not as a guest, she was going to own it. A week passed and Vanessa, with her vast network and sharp business knowledge, had done her homework. The Avalon Hotel, despite its glitzy exterior, was struggling financially. Its ownership group was scrambling to stay afloat. A perfect target for someone like Vanessa. Sitting quietly in a cafe corner, she made the call to her lawyer. Let's make an offer they can't refuse. The deal moved fast. Vanessa's expertise in acquisitions made the process smooth. Within weeks, she had quietly secured the rights to the Avalon. No one knew she was the new owner. Not even the staff who had turned her away. When Vanessa signed the final contracts, there was no rush of vindication. This wasn't about revenge. It was about something bigger. A message that would echo through the industry. Change was coming. A few days later, Vanessa returned to the Avalon, her stride confident. She walked through the grand entrance, not as a rejected guest, but as its new owner. The receptionist, the same young woman who had turned her away, paled when she saw Vanessa approach. I'm not here for a reservation today, Vanessa said smoothly. I'm here as the new owner. The young woman's face drained of color, and she fumbled for words, but Vanessa didn't wait around. She had work to do. Over the next few weeks, Vanessa initiated a complete overhaul of the hotel's operations. She met with the management team, including Robert, the manager who had dismissed her so coldly. There will be changes, she said, her voice calm but firm. The Avalon will no longer be a place that discriminates based on appearance or background. We will welcome all guests. No exceptions. Robert shifted uncomfortably in his seat, trying to justify the hotel's old exclusive standards. But Vanessa cut him off. Exclusivity is not the same as discrimination, Robert. If that's a problem for you, I suggest you find work elsewhere. From that moment on, Vanessa's vision for the Avalon took shape. She brought in diversity and inclusion experts to retrain the staff, hired a more diverse workforce, and ensured that every guest was treated with respect, no matter their background. The change was swift, and the results were undeniable. Word spread. Some of the hotel's old patrons were skeptical, but they were quickly replaced by a new wave of guests who filled the Avalon's rooms. What had once been a symbol of exclusion was now a beacon of progress. One evening, as Vanessa stood at the window of her new office, gazing out at the city skyline, Bethany entered, holding a newspaper. You've got to see this, she said, handing over the paper. Vanessa took it and smiled as she read the headline. Billionaire Vanessa Michaels turns Avalon Hotel into symbol of inclusion. Bethany grinned. You did it. Vanessa smiled, her chest swelling with pride. We did it, she corrected. But she knew this was just the beginning. This wasn't about one hotel. Vanessa had bigger plans. Plans to change the entire industry and ensure that no one, anywhere, would ever be denied respect because of their appearance. As she gazed out over the city, she knew one thing for certain. Justice doesn't always come immediately, but when it does, it's undeniable. Vanessa had built an empire on resilience and hard work, and now she was using that same strength to build something even more powerful. A legacy that would outlive her. A future where everyone would have a seat at the table. Let us know in the comments what you enjoyed about this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you soon!